people getting interested in whiskey might find that there's a bit of gatekeeping culture.
Oh, yeah.
Where the more experienced drinkers look down on newer drinkers, and newer drinkers want to feel confident, but that takes time and money. But I've found a solution that helps individuals fast track their whiskey palate and knowledge. And if you want to hear about it, then stick around.
After that great intro, I need to definitely tell you about our Patreon group because you're going to want to join.
Of course.
The Patreons is where it's at. Those names you see on the screen right now are the fantastic folks that keep this show on the road. Mm-hmm. All of our patrons play a major part in keeping the mission moving forward, which we'll tell you more about the mission and about the Patreon at the end of this video, so stick around.
Yeah. So if you want to be confident in your whiskey bourbon journey, you are going to have to develop your palate.
Got to.
And your knowledge and understanding. Okay? So a couple disclaimers on this. You don't have to be a whiskey expert to enjoy whiskey.
Or a whiskey expert.
A whiskey expert or a whiskey expert. You don't have to be either one.
Right.
Okay? But we do want to help those people. That's their aim. That's their goal.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe they show up to the tasting and they feel kind of inferior because everybody's throwing out these crazy tasting notes and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. It tastes like gasoline, they haven't quite gotten their palate there. Well, this episode is to help you out.
Yeah. And I am using the term expert loosely. We're going to use the term expert in the title. If you actually look up the definition of expert, it is a pretty broad category. It just means you know more than the average person, basically. Right. So let's talk about my tequila experience. So I'm not educated about tequila. And I really don't know what flavors to expect. And so I've felt very inept as I've started to get more involved in tequila. And I realized that my experience mimics the new whiskey drinker that doesn't have the breadth of experience of the different bourbons that are out there. And I was like, how can we solve this problem? Well, obviously, you can go to YouTube, you can watch videos, you can Google. There's plenty of great books that are out there. Some of the books that I've enjoyed are like Bourbon Empire, Warehouse H by Dominique. We went to his house, and
that was solid.
That was a great experience. Bourbon Curious by Fred Minnick, obviously. And there's a bunch of others, but that's just going to solve your knowledge problem.
Right.
You're still going to have those actual personal experiences to figure out your own palate. And you have to be thoughtful when you're tasting whiskey, and it will help you to develop kind of a memory bank that you can recall.
Absolutely.
But cost does slow that process down.
Yeah.
Because if you're buying entire bottles, it's too much volume, especially if you get one that you don't like, and pours and bars can be very expensive. And you can get many bottles so that you can have experiences, but you have very limited options.
Absolutely.
With the mini bottles. So here is my new solution.
What is it?
It is called Blind Barrels.
Okay. Nice.
So they got a real nice monkey on their
top hat on.
Yeah, with the nice top hat on.
Okay.
And they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, what if we sponsored the podcast?"
I think it's a great idea.
And then I said, "Hey, I'm gonna have to talk to someone because this sounds illegal." And after I got off the phone with their owner, who is a totally awesome guy, I realized he is actually doing it legal. And basically what they are doing is they are going out mostly to smaller craft producers, and they bottle up the samples in 50 milliliter samples.
Okay.
And then they put it in this amazing packaging.
Yeah.
And it comes to you as a blind tasting. Okay.
Nice. Got some info in there.
It's got tons of great information, but I mean, look at this packaging. It is beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
And so
nice.
They do this 4 times a year. So once per quarter, you get 4 different 50 ml samples.
And they're labeled A, B, C, D, so you don't really see what whiskey's in there.
You don't know what it is.
Okay.
And so this is one of the best ways to develop your palate, because when you're doing blind samples, you have no bias.
Yeah.
You know, so if somebody comes along and goes, oh, only people with terrible palates like that whiskey, and then you try it, you may not like that whiskey because you have that bias.
Yeah, you have that bias.
When you're doing it blind like this, you're going to be learning a whole lot faster.
Yep.
And it does come with full education about each one of the pours. They do a live stream with a tasting expert, if you will, that's going to kind of walk you through these. And then after you've had the chance to taste them, they're going to reveal to you what they actually were.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So do they have the results on these cards? Or you have to go online?
You have to go online afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. That's cool.
And so they reached out.
So there's nowhere to cheat. There's no way to cheat at all.
I don't think so.
Nice.
I could be wrong about that because he sent me this as kind of a special thing so that we would have something to display on the podcast. But we actually ended up deciding that we were going to partner together.
Yeah.
And so basically, after I talked with him and I realized it was all legit, he said, "Hey, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, I went to your website and it looks like you did a partnership with Fred Minnick."
Yeah.
And he said, "I did." Fred curated his own kit. And he said, "What I would like to do with you is to have you curate one of our quarters."
Wow.
And so I am officially announcing that Bourbon Real Talk is partnering with Blind Barrels. And
Nice.
We are at the final stages of negotiating with the last of the 4 that are going in here. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what they are because it would run the blind portion.
One of them is Knob Creek.
Right? It's no. Jim Beam is not interested in messing with a project like this.
All right. Dang it. Come on, Jim.
It's going to be some probably smaller, producers, but some that are pretty big that have national distribution.
Okay.
And the cool thing is that after you try these, so if you decide to sign up for this, there's 2 different ways to do it, okay? You can either buy an entire year, so you're paying for all 4 quarters.
Okay.
And it's $50 per quarter.
Okay.
So you pay like $200 up front. Or you can sign up for the subscription. You get billed quarterly $60. But if you're like, hey, don't want to mess with that, I'm only interested in buying the kit that Randy curated, or I only want to do it for 1 month and just see what it's about, they offer a one-off kit for $70.
Nice.
Okay?
So the kit, the BRT official kit, will be $70.
If that's all you do.
If that's all they wanted, yeah.
Okay. And normally I do not do partnerships with revenue share agreements, just because every single day, multiple times per day, some company sends me a message because you have to have your contact information public when you own a channel like this. And they go, hey, we want to send you this product for you to review, and we'll give you whatever percentage of the sales that you bring in. I ignore all of those. This one, I felt differently about it because I think that this product is so unique and so important for somebody who's trying to develop their palate that and the reason why I say no to all of those is they're like, we want to take the last 5 years of your hard work and see if we can make some money off you.
Yeah.
But if we don't, you don't get anything for all of your hard work.
For sure.
Right? So normally I don't do that. I go, look, I have a fee if you want to sponsor the podcast. No one's ever willing to pay the amount of money that I asked for, so we just advertise our own products, right?
Absolutely.
But in this instance, I said, this is so important. I believe so much in what you're doing. I'll do the revenue share agreement. So as I've promised you all, if there's ever money involved, I will tell you up front. And in the video description below, there is going to be a link that you can click.
Okay.
And that link will take you to a place where you can figure out whether or not you want to buy one kit, if you want to buy, sign up for the subscription, or you want to prepay for a year. And
now, when will this kit be coming out?
The one that I'm curating will be out in mid-March 2025. Hey, nice hat.
Hey, thanks. Nice lanyard.
Nice rocks glass.
Thanks, man. Nice travel case.
Nice blend topper.
Thank you. Nice candle.
Nice bottle bag.
Thanks, man. That's a nice tumbler.
Nice woman's t-shirt.
Oh, thanks. Nice extra schmedium shirt.
Get yourself some nice things and get all the compliments that come along with it. Shop bourbonrealtalk.com.
they do have kits that are from the past that are available for purchase on their website.
Yeah.
And so you could use this link to go ahead and buy one of these kits if you wanted to. You can sign up for the subscription because you want to get my curated kit. Of course, if you're part of the Bourbon Real Talk community or you're in our database, whenever this sponsorship opportunity comes out, we're going to be sending out information to remind you, like, hey, if you want to do this. But the kit that I curate, I'm going to be the one leading the tasting online.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck
So it was a great opportunity. There's going to be around 4,200 people that are tasting the same samples together.
Nice.
Of course, not everybody gets on the call, but it's great exposure for our podcast because those are people who might like our content.
Yeah.
And I think that the samples are a great exposure for people who watch our videos. And so it's just a marriage made in heaven.
I mean, we're a big fan of blinds around here. So, I mean, that fits right into our schema for sure.
Yeah, you want to try some of these?
Let's try something out.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this B barrel.
B.
It's the triple B, the blind barrel B.
And also, this subscription service was it surprised them how popular it was as a gift over Christmas. And they started to run out of their official bourbon blinds, Glencairns.
Yeah.
And I am now offering customization of glassware, of my glassware, my shape of glass. And so we actually backfilled so that if you signed up for one of these kits recently, or if you sign up for one soon, you're probably not going to get a Glencairn. You're probably going to get the Bourbon Real Talk official shaped glass that we had custom designed for high proof spirits, just so you know.
Do you know where Blind Barrels is from, where they're based out of?
They're in California.
California.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have a shipping retail partner that they're partnered with. So every time a distillery gets selected to be represented in one of the blind samples, they also bring in some of that distillery's regularly bottled product. So after you get off the call and you figure out which ones you like, if you want to buy a full bottle, you can go right to the website and have it shipped to your door.
Man,
so
I need to know what this is.
This is amazing.
This is straight up like cherry pie filling in my mouth hole.
Mine is blueberry perfume. I mean, it is perfumey, but it tastes like blueberries.
Yeah. It's perfumey, but it tastes like cherries, this one.
Switch
it up. Yes.
There's a little smoke on that too.
Yeah. Blueberries.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, so...
It's like blueberry, like when you put blueberries in your oatmeal.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Which I did this morning, actually.
And I can assure you that the good people over at Blind Barrels, they won't let you, even if you're partnering with them to curate, they demand to taste the samples before they'll agree to let them in the kit. So they're pretty serious about making sure they don't put anything in here they don't believe in. Right. And it's not like a distillery can reach out to them and go like, hey, we want to pay you a bunch of money to feature us and all that stuff. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Right. They have to taste it. They have to like it. They reach out to the distillery. A bunch of distilleries say no. Sometimes they say no. Mm-hmm. And then later they hear about how well it's worked for other distilleries. And then they come back and say yes.
Yep.
And that is the case with one of the distilleries that's going to be in my kit.
Ooh,
teaser. Yeah. So I was sending him and I was like, what about these guys? And he said, we did those before. What about these guys? We did them before. What about these guys? We haven't done them, but we asked them and they said no. And I said, okay, I know a guy. And we got him in.
You got him in?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Pretty excited about that.
So this is fantastic. What should we do for our giveaway today on this episode?
So we talked with Bobby over at Blind Barrels, and he has agreed to give away 3 of these sample packs.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's going to be the same process as
like
normal.
$200+ worth of whiskey right there.
Yeah. Same process as normal, except for if you are the one that selected. After we get your contact information, we're going to be sending it to Blind Barrel so that they can ship your samples out. So tell them what they need to do to enter to win.
Well, you just need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. You need to do that because on every episode we do to give away free whiskey, which there's not a lot of places you can get free whiskey, but we are one of those places. So ring the bell. And then you want to fill out our web form. That just gives us your basic contact info. And we only keep that in-house for your record. We use it to send you out that free sample if you do win, but also we use that information to run our randomizer to see if you are a winner. So it's all safe, it's all secure. You should definitely sign up for this giveaway because is badass.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I just tried Sample C, and it smells like Baijiu.
Baijiu?
Uh-huh.
What is that?
It's actually the most popular spirit in the world. It's the main...
Tells you how uncultured I am.
Spain. It's the main spirit... Here, taste it. It's the main spirit that you drink in China. But
it tastes like it or smells like it?
It smells like it. It doesn't taste like it. Baijiu actually tastes kind of bad. But when I first smelled it, I was like, whoa. It smells like fish sauce or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it smells like...
Yep.
Like a fish sauce.
Does not taste that bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
It does smell pretty wild.
It tastes great, but the smell was weird. But that's the kind of experience that you can expect.
Yeah,
so that's
really
how you enter the free giveaway.
This will be cool to do with your friends, you know, like a couple buddies, and just pour it up and be like, hey, let's see if we can guess kind of what this stuff is and see what kind of tasting notes are, and then jump on the live recording and see if it's see if you're right. And kind of a fun activity.
You know what's interesting is so they reached out to me and I had the meeting scheduled, and Lindsay comes up to me and she's like, hey, look at this. And she shows me one of their commercials from social media. So there's been commercials for them on social media all over. And she goes, we should look into working with him or doing something like this. And I said, you're not gonna believe this, but I got a meeting with him in an hour and a half. And the commercial that she showed me, it's a couple that says that they do this as a couple. Yeah. It's like a thing that they're doing.
Well, date night, huh?
And when I got on the phone with them, apparently those are real customers.
Really?
Yeah. They really are just really big fans, and they agreed to do the commercial for him. So I thought that was really cool. If you like this content and you want to support the channel, we have 3 ways. The first way is Patreon. Yep. We've got different Patreon levels for all budgets, lots of member benefits.
Tons of benefits.
We also have our merchandise website at bourbonrealtalk.com. Lots of great things for whiskey lovers. And third, I'm a residential real estate agent, and I operate in the Dallas and Houston metro area, and I give away epic allocated bottles as closing gifts. And if you want information about any of the 3 ways to support, it's in the video description below. And if this is your first time tuning into the channel, we'd love to let you know why we do what we do. And yes, whiskey's great and it tastes great. But one of the cool things about whiskey is it has this, I don't know, almost magical connective power to bring people together. And that's something that I am interested in because I lost a loved one to suicide, and he was losing those types of connections that keep people bound to this world. And so I figured maybe if I can get you connected to whiskey would do the rest of the job and get you connected to others. And if you want connection, you do have to have a forum for people to interact. And in Wes's wisdom, he convinced me to start a forum for Bourbon Real Talk. It's called Bourbon Real Talk Community. It's Facebook-based. It's free. You can go join right now. And we've been able to do a lot of great things in there, not only community and connection, but we started a 501c3 called Live Stay Project. That's suicide prevention and intervention nonprofit. And the reason why you came to me and said, like, hey, we need to start our own forum is that we needed to be able to control the culture, to be very focused on community. And some of the other communities that are out there, some of the other Facebook groups, there's a lot of negativity and sometimes hate from strangers online. Yeah. And so we started adding a sign off to every one of our videos. And basically, we figure if those people can show hate to a stranger online, there's nothing that keeps us from loving a stranger online. And so we end every episode the same way, and that's this. If you woke up this morning, you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that we love you. We'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers. Cheers. That sounded okay.
That sounded fantastic. Really.
Yeah. I got enough whiskey in me now. Well, it might be the Torchies.
I really can't believe how great that was.
All right, let's go. A whiskey troll is a person who seeks negative attention and uses contrarian attitudes to derail civil discussion in online forums. They communicate in ways they never would face-to-face because they're keyboard warriors. Their only goal is to make other people feel inferior.
Hey guys, I'm new here. I just got my first Blanton's.
And trust me, you probably paid way too much.
I don't care much about the Blantons, but nice.
There's no way that she didn't buy that at secondary, idiot.
Oh, I know how you got that bottle.
So, are you sick and tired of the whiskey trolls running your fun online? Well, that's why we started Bourbon Real Talk Community. Congratulations. Let me know what you think when you open it up.
Hey, welcome to the group. Let me send you over a sample of Blanton's Gold and straight from the barrel. See how you like those.
I remember back to my first bottle of Blanton's. It was the birthday to my son, and we enjoy it every year on his birthday. Congrats.
So if you're looking to connect with some people online who aren't, head over to facebook.com and join Bourbon Real Talk community today.